49ers are hurt and struggling. The Dallas Cowboys are hurt and struggling. Something's going to have to give on Sunday night. Newsprint Right Option Podcast starts now.
Welcome, everybody.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners. Sprint Right Option Podcast. Oh my goodness, we are live. It is a new episode of the Sprint Right Option Podcast. Dare I say, a special Sprint Right Option Podcast because there's a certain baseball team that certain somebody has a cheering interest in starting a baseball game here shortly. So this might be a very quick-paced, tempoed Sprint Right Option Podcast. I'm Andrew Pasquini, joined as always by Jason Aponte. And Jason, first pitch World Series about to start. How you feeling?
I feel fine. We're just gonna have to audible this one. Can. We're gonna have to move fast and we're gonna run tempo. For the people that don't understand the difference between audibles and protection calls.
I like how we're just starting hot with that because a lot of people didn't like Purdy's quote about that, but I don't think people kind of neither here nor there. That's Jason. We're here to talk Niners Cowboys. We don't have time to be distracted by anything other than that. Sunday night. It really let's get right into it, Jason. Niners Cowboys. My first question is as I said at the top, these are two teams that are really struggling. They're also really, really hurt. The Cowboys are missing Bland, Parsons, Lawrence, probably a few others. The Niners obviously
a head coach, a decent running back, a quarterback who can win playoff games, a second wide receiver. I'm sorry. I didn't know if you wanted me to keep going.
No, you can keep going. We can keep listing things the Cowboys
a good owner, an owner who's competent, a
general manager,
a general manager,
would be good.
I think I could. Oh, well, they have a really good special teams unit. That's something nice about the Dallas Cowboys. They have a good special teams unit. You have to if you punt all the time. No, that's how we're going in this one.
That's my honest fear, though, is the Niners dominate this game and it's just flipped on some dumb special teams play because that's just how, I guess it's not even a fear at this point. It's just what the Niners do at this point. But Jason, both teams struggling, both teams hurt. We talked about, I don't like to use the term must win this early in the season, but this really feels like a must win for both sides just because of Dallas coming off the bye, looking to pick up momentum going into their second half of the season. Niners looking for momentum as they go into their bye week. Who's the most winner of most win games? That's not even a real question, Jason. Who needs to win this game more, the Niners or the Cowboys?
The Cowboys do, but the 49ers need to figure out a few things. What you're going to do at the trade deadline and where you're going this season, and you need NFC wins. The Cowboys lose this game and whatever. This season's kaput if you ask me anyway, man. I'm not joking when I say that they need a running back, a second wide receiver option. I'm not joking about a head coach, a play caller, a defense. I'm not joking when I say any of those things. I don't think that a win here means that the Dallas Cowboys are back, but a loss here means that the 49ers are out. And that's more important. So I think Dallas needs it more, but they're not going to get it. And the 49ers need it more because they have much more on the line than the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, it's not necessarily, maybe must win is too strong of a word for the 49ers.
It's a must win. It's a must win.
Must win, but I think I would argue it's a can't lose on the other side of it. Okay. Same word, but different, because after everything we've seen with the Cowboys and the injuries in their last game, losing 47-9 to the Detroit Lions, I cannot think of a worse vibe check going into the 49ers bye week than a loss against this. It's different if Parsons is playing. It's different if Lawrence is playing. It's different if Bland is playing. But this is a Dallas Cowboy defense that you need to take advantage of in this game to give any sense of hope of a second half of the season turnaround that a lot of people just think is automatically going to happen because, Kyle Shanahan starts slow. And sure, it might, and that big pickup might be Christian McCaffrey week 10. Sounds like he's trending towards the right direction. But, man, I think my biggest fear, man, is the Niners lose this game. And then it's just it's now what? It's not it's not a situation where you lose this game. It's now you got Tampa Bay without any receivers right now. You get a week to chew on this before. So it's a must win, obviously, but I would argue it's a bigger can't lose than a must win for the 49ers.
49ers have to win this game, point blank. I mean, I think, again, when you look at the way that the Cowboys are, they've just been beat from pillar to post. And funny enough, they only win games on the road, so take that for whatever. But they're just not good, man. They're just not good. And I don't care if Lawrence or Parsons and Bland and Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman were playing in this game. They stink. They're not good. And the 49ers have their number. The same way that we kind of talked ourselves into the idea of like, well, maybe we could beat the Chiefs. Maybe we need to stop taking that off the table when you face the Dallas Cowboys, because regardless of the shape, regardless of the quarterback, regardless of the venue, the 49ers own them. That's why I wrote that article. This is not a rivalry. You have to win a game before this turns into a rivalry. You're not the same. There's levels, and you're unfortunately not there. And that's the thing is, the 49ers just have to do what they normally do and take care of business. And I don't care if Parsons and Lawrence and Bland were playing. I would still have the same sort of confidence, because at the end of the day, it's still Mike McCarthy. It's still Dak Prescott. They're completely one-dimensional. They can't stop a nosebleed, and they can't beat the 49ers. This is a house of horrors to them. This is almost like the time when, oh, we've got to go to Seattle. God, I don't even think we have a shot. This is how Dallas Cowboys fans are viewing this game. I've spoken to a few Cowboys fans who have literally said, I have no hope for Sunday. And that's how they should feel. They shouldn't feel hopeful. And why should they? Yeah. Regardless of how the 49ers have played, they are far and away nowhere near the 49ers. And don't bring up the Rams and Cardinals. Those are divisional games, completely different. And also, the Rams have a really good quarterback. The Dallas Cowboys have.
So that's okay. Well, you mentioned the Rams, and that's a very fair thing to say, Jason. That's part of the reason why I think I'm more concerned about Sunday. Is I saw the Rams last night. I don't think the Rams are going away. The Seahawks. I don't know how good the Seahawks are. They just always have this tendency to just stick around and be annoying.
No DK Metcalf this week, so
no DK Metcalf, so that's big. So that's huge. But like, it's just. I'm kind of seeing the NFC West around the Niners and even the Cardinals. Like, I'm not concerned about the Cardinals. The Cardinals kind of feel like that ultimate any given Sunday team where it's like, okay, they can be really bad, but some weeks they'll be really good and put a performance together. So it's just, I'm in this glass box looking around the NFC West. And if the Niners lose on Sunday, and Jason, I'm throwing the if the Niners lose a lot out. I picked the Niners to win, spoiler alert. But if the Niners lose, I'm going to be in this glass box looking at the rest of the NFC West, feeling like I'm almost suffocating, because it's just 3-5 going into the bye week. The rest of the NFC West is feeling pretty decent. I think the Niners win on Sunday. I think the momentum goes back to the Niners. I still don't think this is as simple as the Niners are going to fix it and they're going to figure everything out, because I think a lot of teams around them are good.
Beating the Dallas Cowboys doesn't tell me anything about this San Francisco 49ers team. It's the same thing I told you about the Patriots game. I knew the 49ers were better than the Patriots. So beating the Dallas Cowboys doesn't tell me anything other than handling business.
Yep.
I'll learn about the San Francisco 49ers when they got to go on the road and play Tampa, Green Bay, Buffalo. That's when you'll learn. I don't learn anything by beating an inferior team. Nothing. And yeah, you can sell me on the NFL, wins are wins. Nah, not all wins are created equal. All wins matter, but not all wins are created equal. Did I think the Niners were back because they throttled the New England Patriots? No. Am I going to be like, oh, the Niners are back? No, I'm just going to mercilessly make fun of the Dallas Cowboys because I expect them to. This is a game that I had marked as a W as soon as the schedule came out. Mm-hmm. And this is what it needs to be and what it will be. Turn it down.
So the game I have in mind when I think of the Niners Cowboys, at least for this Sunday, is I think of the Niners versus the Seahawks a couple weeks ago, right? Because Seattle, decent team, but they're kind of one vice they had on offense is they throw the ball a lot. They lead the NFL in passes or pass attempts. They lead the NFL in pass attempts per game. And their pass offense looked fine. I think they threw the ball 52 times for like 305 yards. So like a lot of passes, high volume, so you get a lot of yards. You look at this Cowboys offense, Jason Aponte, and Seattle, they average, I think it's 21 carries per game for 97 yards. That's not the best. You would say that's a team that struggles to run the ball, right? And that's why they throw the ball a lot, right? They throw the ball more because they struggle to run. If the Seahawks struggle to run, the Dallas Cowboys just physically cannot run the football. They average one more carry or half a carry more per game than the Seattle Seahawks. They average 20 fewer yards per game. So they're averaging 22 carries, 77 yards per game on the ground. They're throwing the ball 40 times per game. I cannot think of a better situation for this 49ers defense specifically, and we saw it against Seattle, where you could just kind of pin your ears back and wait for the pass. And that's where that's where this game is going to be won. You could talk about the Niners offense against the Cowboys defense and all the injuries, but if Dallas can establish the run early, and I don't think they will because they haven't been able to the entire season, Jason, if they can establish the run early and give you this thought that, hey, we can run the ball today, Niners defense might have some issues. But if the Niners can stop the run early and get out to like, dog, if it's 14-0 after 2 possessions, like that's the best place for the Niners to be in, because then Dallas is going to have to become one-dimensional, and the Niners can just pin the ears back and wait on the pass. And that's where this game is going to turn into a blowout. So I think it's going to be a lot like the Seahawks game in that sense, where if the Niners can just keep Dallas from running the ball consistently, and because 3.5 yards per carry, fewest in the league, is insanely bad. Like it's not even the fact of Dallas chooses not to run, it's they can't run the ball. And so if the Niners can keep that going on Sunday, I don't think this game's going to be particularly close.
It's a combination of the fact that they can't run the football and they have a talent level in that room that's just not good. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they just get boat raced all the time and they can't. Mm-hmm. And that's what happens. It's a cascading thing. And that's what the 49ers have to do. Look, regardless of whatever you feel about this Dallas Cowboys offense, the 49ers should have no issues with this defense. Mm-hmm. I don't care who's out there. If it's Chris Conley at X with Debo a little bit and Pearsall and Cowing, and it doesn't matter. Run the football until the football deflates against this team that is the worst against the run. Also, the worst, second to worst in red zone touchdown percentage allowed on defense. All of these matchups are just, it's telling you something that you already know. But because the 49ers lost to divisional teams, remember that, Rams, Cardinals, those games are weird, divisional teams. Mm-hmm. You think now the 49ers have a chance to lose to the Cowboys because you feel they should have beaten the Rams and Cardinals. All of those things can be true, but I have a hard time even seeing how this game goes unless the 49ers absolutely vomit all over themselves in every facet of the game. And they'll probably do it in special teams once or twice, but then this would mean they would have to be completely inept on offense, completely inept on defense. I don't see how that happens. The Cowboys just aren't good. The Cowboys right now are running to be the worst team in the NFC, and the only reason they aren't is because Daniel Jones plays football. And that is worse for the Cowboys because they have high hopes. They didn't do anything to address this team. In fact, I would say they're worse. You didn't bring anybody in to run the football. You lost Tony Pollard. You brought in Ezekiel Elliott. You didn't add anyone else at the wide receiver position, which is something that all you did was throw the football to make yourself completely one-dimensional. I don't see how this is even something that we need to be nervous about. The Rams and the Cardinals are two different things. The Cardinals have a running quarterback and have given the 49ers fits every single time, regardless of the quarterback. Colt McCoy, Kyler Murray, doesn't matter. The Rams, Matthew Stafford's really good, and Sean McVay's a good coach. Mike McCarthy and the Dallas Cowboys, I have a hard time worrying about this team. They just don't have anything that really scares me to death. And there's nothing that they can do other than hope that the 49ers absolutely implode on Sunday, which they won't.
Well, it's really funny, too. You mentioned like the lack of Cowboys moves in the offseason. And the quote that's really sticking out is, I think it's getting more and more run every week, is them talking about, Jerry Jones specifically is them talking about, hey, Derrick Henry isn't a fit for this team. Derrick Henry's not a fit for this team. And now we're sitting here 7 games into the season. Derrick Henry is kind of on what's Derrick Henry? Is he on pace for 2,000 still? He's
2,000 yards.
873 yards through 7 games, and the Cowboys, I don't even think the Cowboys have 873 yards as a team. I think they're like
700 something. I looked it up.
So it's just it's a team that doesn't seem to care to get much better. And I mean, you're sitting out there, and I think Jerry Jones has already come out and said like they're not looking to make any moves at the deadline either. So it's just a Dallas Cowboy team that feels like they just. I mean, people want to use the no identity term with the Niners, whatever it is. The Cowboys don't have an identity nor a direction. And that is much worse in this situation. The one thing I will say I'm a little nervous about for Mike McCarthy, Jason, and the only reason I mention I'm a little nervous about it entering this week is because we talked about it a little bit last week with Andy Reid. The Niners, unfortunately, having to deal with another team coming off of their bye week. Mike McCarthy with the Dallas Cowboys, 3-1 off of a bye. 12-5 in his career. So in his career off of a bye week, Mike McCarthy coached teams are essentially a top seed in the conference. Maybe a concern, maybe not. I like to believe that this is a situation where just talent comes through and the Niners
Throw me
win.
beer.
But it is something. It is. Oh, Jason's getting ready for the playoff game.
It's a party, man. That's the hard part about
it's a little bit of a pace today. But it's a thing that we have to talk about. That the Cowboys have been pretty good coming off of the bye under Mike McCarthy, especially after last week against a Chiefs team that is very good off the bye.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are good.
Yes.
Like, I don't care about the Dallas Cowboys being off the bye. They're still the Dallas Cowboys. I think the worst thing, like you said, right? No direction, no identity, right? But the worst part is the Dallas Cowboys are parading around as if they improved themselves and they're going somewhere. And that's the hardest thing for a Dallas Cowboys fan to swallow is don't piss on my head and tell me it's raining. You didn't do anything to improve this team. You got no help on defense at all. You thought, hey, we're going to get Trayvon Diggs back. Everything's going to – no. I don't understand why they didn't go after Jonathan Brooks at running back, anything. They refused to better this team, and this is on the heels of their senile owner saying, we're all in. All in on what? All in on the same team? That's insane to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't know where this Cowboy and the other thing is too, the reason I don't know if I subscribe to the bye week thing with Mike McCarthy. I don't know how you respond to a bye week loss 47-9 to the Detroit Lions. Like, it'd be one thing if maybe the game was a little competitive, but having to sit with that for 2 weeks and maybe this could be fun. This could be a funny quote, me saying it, and maybe Dallas uses as motivation of a 47-9 loss, and now they're a week to chew on it, come back. But it's just I just don't know how they come back from that. It feels like Dallas is kind of all over the place. And that's the thing. The big thing is, and I wanted to talk on this a little bit, Jason, just because people talk. Oh, is the game already on? Game already started. Okay. Micah Parsons, people talking about him coming back and all that. The Dallas pass rush wasn't very good with him. Their pressure rate with Parsons was 34.8. In the 2 games without him, it's 34.9. That's bad either way, no matter how you cut it. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know where this Cowboy team goes. I honestly think the Niners shouldn't have an issue with this game.
No, they shouldn't. And again, if the 49ers lose this game, pack it up. Yeah. Just pack it up.
Yeah.
Because what are you supposed to do in the bye? And then now you're just going to go on this run. The remaining schedule has 3 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Seattle Seahawks, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Chicago Bears, who are in the best division in football with a winning record. So by the time you get to that game, they'll be a playoff team. So if you can't handle business against this inferior team that is not a divisional opponent and knows you very well, just a team that you have royally kicked their ass every time you played them, and yet now you have an issue winning this game, pack the season up. Pack it up.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Jason. We're about 20 minutes in. We've kind of flown through this. I think it's.
I was just reacting to a horrible ball. I was a horrible strike call. One of the worst in baseball history, probably.
Hey, but they're the best. But they're best umpires. Best umpires.
Bring the robot. If Elon Musk wants to do something for this country, bring the robot umps that actually can tell balls and strikes.
How about,
and that's it. If it's in the box, strike. If it's not in the box, ball. It shouldn't be this hard.
How about robot referees that can see a face mask in front of them? How about that one?
Yeah, well, I'll say this. That probably wasn't going to win them the game, but that was
doesn't change anything.
That was a horrible way to lose that game.
I just don't understand how in 2024 we don't have the ability to be like, hey, they missed this call. Like, let's make the call correct on the field.
Or how we have a ref with eyes on the play and Sam Darnold's neck is about to break, and he says, "That looked clean to me."
I didn't see it. And again, I know Rod's in here with defending his Rams. Jason and I both agree. I don't think the game changes with that call. That's just a horrible way to end it. So we're not trying to say the Vikings were going to drive down the field. No. Jason, underdog. You got your underdog picks for the Niners Cowboys on Sunday. Promo code Aponte. They'll match your first deposit up to $1,000. Jason, I know you like that Purdy over on yards that hit last week. Again, have they learned? Have they learned their mistakes yet?
I don't know. Let me take a look real quick. And while I do that, guys, thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry if I seem distracted. is what it is with
baseball teams in the World Series. A very good
teams in
reason
the
to
World
be
Series. I'm
distracted right
sorry,
now.
man. This is horrible. Okay,
Jason gets to watch World Series baseball this weekend. I'm going to spend my Saturday watching the Terrifier series. So totally different, terribly different. Yeah, we're finding out. I have a strategy. I'm going to have the iPad and the MacBook up with college football in front of me. So then when it gets real bad on the TV screen, I just disengage.
Andrew,
I
one day, right before and the picks are up, I just wanted to make sure that the picks are up because we don't know who's going to be playing and everything, okay? Andrew, I watched that movie on a whim one night at 1:30 in the morning in the pitch black. It was on Peacock. And I said, let me just see what everybody's talking about.
Yes.
My God, Andrew, the first one is the tamest one out of all of them. I think Shohei just went deep. Nope, caught. Sorry. Warning track power. Not that guy.
Is it Dodger or is it Yankee Stadium? I don't know.
It's at Dodger Stadium. Not that guy. Shohei Ohtani. You heard it here first. But the first movie is so tame when it comes to that, and I almost died. Like, forget the second and the third one. I don't know how you do with gore, but I'm good, man. Gore for the sake of gore is
I don't know. I don't know how I do with gore, but I'm gonna have my windows open, and it's gonna be a nice afternoon day, and my window will be open, and I'll have college football on, so I'll just distract it. Jason, underdog.
18.5 rushing yards for Purdy. They've got hip to it. Lower. Not taking it this week. Don't like it at all. I don't like it. Not 18.5. I'm taking lower. 12.95 fantasy points. Deebo Samuel, 3.5 rushing, receiving first downs is the only thing that they have up for him right now. The guy who's going off this week is George Kittle, 54.5 receiving yards higher. That's easy. I mean, I feel like that's got to be a smash. I can't even understand how it's that low. Rico Dowdle, 43.5 lower. I don't see. They're not going to run the football in this game. They're not going to be able to. The 49ers offense is not going to allow them to. I think Mookie Betts just went deep. Oh, sorry. He's not that guy either. Warning track power. That's caught. Man, these guys really can't hit the baseball hard, huh?
I just like Jason. Oh, and this Dodger just went yard. No, he didn't. Not that guy.
No, he didn't. And Jordan Mason, 79.5 rushing yards higher. This is going to be a big Jordan Mason guy. If you have him, you're starting him in fantasy football. They are going to run the shit out of the football right at the Dallas Cowboys, and there's not a thing they can do about it.
Perfect, Jason. Hey, let's get to predictions, and then we can watch the Yankees be those guys and hit some home runs on the Bronx Bombers, dare I say. Jason, I think we both had the Cowboys at the same amount of points. I went through the NinerNation.com article today. I have it at 31-17. I just maybe not the highest point total. 31 is a high point total, I guess. I just need to see a clean performance from Brock Purdy. I think that's the biggest thing I want to see in this game. The defense will be fine against the Cowboys offense that can't run the ball. And I know somebody said in the chat that they ran for 100 yards against the Steelers. Yeah, they did. They've only ran for 100 yards in 2 games this season. That was just one of them. It's bound to happen every so often. I need to see a clean game from Brock Purdy. That's all I want to see. I just need to see a good bounce back performance. I'm also really, really excited for Chris Conley. I have not given up on Chris Conley. I think he's a guy that needs reps, and I think the more reps he's going to get better. I know he's been around for a while, but it's like a relief pitcher in baseball. Like, you can't just throw him out there once every 6-7 games and expect him to be great. So I think more consistent reps could be a good thing for Chris Conley. I'm very excited to see him. But I have the 49ers winning 31-17 on Sunday night.
34-17 for the Niners. I think that's what I had in there. There'll be a way for them to get, a bunch of garbage time points. 34-17. Again, look, second to worst red zone defense in the league. That means touchdown percentages allowed. Worst rush defense in the league. Worst rush offense in the league. It's still Dak Prescott. It's still Mike McCarthy. It's still the Dallas Cowboys. And I wish Micah Parsons and all them would play just to kick their ass again so they can go on their podcast and say, we got something for them the next time we see them, which every time you say that, you have nothing and you barely ever see them again unless it's in the regular season. 49ers win this one going away. But it doesn't make me feel like the 49ers are back. They just take care of business against an inferior team.
Yep. I think that's the best way to look at it, Jason. We're going to get out of here. This might be the quickest episode of the Sprint Red Option.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I promise. The instant reaction will be amazing. I'll cook them, everything. I don't have I can't do it right now. I just can't.
That's why we started early, and that's why we had a little bit of a pace. I think we got all the points we needed to get out tonight. Rod, what do we think of the Rams? I hated what I saw, and that's a good thing for you because that means they looked really, really good. So
looks very good.
So We appreciate you guys joining this episode. As Jason said, post game, instant reaction, the Cowboys, Niners. Maybe I'll join. We'll see how we go with that.
Yeah.
But
All right.
Jason Aponte
at the end of 1-0 Yankees and Dodgers. Haha. Forget that triple, Freddie Freeman.
Jason Aponte, as always.
Let's go Yankees and let's go Niners. By the way, real quick, Avery, come here. Yes. Come here. If you're rooting against the Yankees, come here. If you're rooting against the Yankees, you're rooting against this young lady here. Boo Boo, look at the screen. Boo Boo, look at the screen. Look at the screen. If you're rooting against the Yankees, you're rooting against this young lady, and it just might mean that you're a terrible person. So don't do that.
Yes. And a fire Pikachu shirt. Just throwing that out there. Hey, go Niners, go Yankees. Yankees in 4. Just throwing it out there. We don't like the Dodgers here at Sprint Red Option Podcast.
All my homies hate the Dodgers.
Jason will be back after the Niners Cowboys, and maybe I will be too. Hey, have a great weekend, guys. Have a great Friday. And as always, go Niners.
Go Niners. Don't watch Terrified.
We are live.
My name is Jason Aponte.
I am Andrew Pasquini.
We're working. That's it. We're working over here. That's it. Let's go Niners.
Let's go Niners.